Andrew Golota.
Andrew Golota, the powerful Pole, was a true boxing star in the late 1990s. Using his massive size and devastating Polish power, he tore through the heavyweight division like a force of nature.
Here is the pride of Poland.
But his biggest enemy wasn't any opponent. It was himself. His obvious mental issues became the main obstacle that blocked his path to greatness. Inside the ring, Golota often abandoned honor and tried to win using some of the dirtiest tactics boxing had ever seen.
Upstairs for Bo.
This madness came during his legendary rivalry with Riddick Bowe. In their first fight, the still undefeated Golota dominated Bowe for 7 rounds and seemed destined for victory. Yet, despite being on the verge of the biggest win of his career, he threw it all away by repeatedly landing illegal low blows, resulting in a disqualification.
Another low blow, down goes Bowe, and that's it.
That's it. Great.
It's a disqualification. What comes next?
Jim, the thing that comes next, without question, is a disqualification. I mean, I don't know how much of this...
6 months later, the rematch brought even more controversy.
He intends on being a bad guy. Shady character.
Fans expected Golota either to redeem himself or finally receive the punishment many believed he deserved. Instead, another scandal unfolded. Once again, Golota abandoned the rules and was disqualified after repeated fouls.
Low blows, and down goes Bowe again.
Yeah, that's it.
And Cotton is not thinking disqualification.
What shocked fans even more was his complete lack of remorse. Rather than apologizing, he mocked his opponent and brushed off the criticism. His actions damaged Riddick Bowe's career and reputation, and many believed they contributed to Bowe's eventual departure from boxing.
About going out of boxing soon.
Yes, this is true, definitely.
But what Golota failed to realize was that his actions had caught the attention of one of Bowe's closest friends, Mike Tyson. Tyson and Bowe had grown up together in Brooklyn and shared a deep bond.
Do you like Riddick Bowe?
I love Riddick Bowe.
You're friends?
Yeah.
Did you grow up together?
We went to school together.
When a fight between Tyson and Golota was scheduled for October 20th, 2000, it carried the feeling of personal revenge.
Tyson 222, Golota 240.
Tyson even postponed retirement plans and prepared for what many saw as a mission to defend his friend's honor.
3, 4.
At the press conference, however, Golota showed no respect.
The youngest heavyweight ever, you know, who won the title. And you know what? It was a time to break it, you know.
He mocked Tyson publicly and acted as though he could humiliate another heavyweight legend. He believed he could use the same dirty tactics that had worked before, but by provoking Tyson, a man already known as the baddest man on the planet, Golota may have made the biggest mistake of his career. As Fight Week continued, boxing analysts began debating one question above all others. How would these two completely different fighters handle each other inside the ring? Andrew Golota possessed all the physical tools a heavyweight could ask for. He stood nearly 6 feet 4 inches tall, had a long reach, and carried tremendous punching power in both hands. When focused, he was a surprisingly skilled boxer who could control distance with his jab, dictate the pace of a fight, and wear opponents down over time.
He will stop the fight. You better answer. It's going to be stopped.
Mike Tyson was built differently. Tyson was shorter and gave up several inches in reach, but he possessed something far more dangerous. His explosive speed, relentless aggression, and ability to close distance made him one of the most feared fighters in boxing history. While most heavyweights preferred to fight from long range, Tyson specialized in getting inside.
Tyson! Oh my!
Using head movement, upper body rhythm, and constant pressure, he would force opponents into uncomfortable exchanges. Once he entered punching range, his hooks and uppercuts could change a fight instantly. On paper, Golota seemed to have advantages. He was bigger, he was longer, and he theoretically had the style needed to trouble Tyson. Many experts believe that if Golota stayed disciplined, used his jab, and avoided emotional mistakes, he could make the fight difficult for Iron Mike. But there was a problem. Discipline and Andrew Golota rarely stayed together for long. Throughout his career, Golota had repeatedly shown that he could lose control when pressure increased. Even in fights he was winning, frustration often pushed him toward reckless decisions. Tyson understood this perfectly. He knew that the battle would not be won with tactics alone. It would be won by breaking Golota mentally. As fight night arrived, the atmosphere inside the arena became electric. Fans packed the venue expecting chaos. Some believed Tyson would score another highlight reel knockout. Others believed Golota's size and boxing skills would finally expose the weaknesses of the former champion.
Andrew Golota!
Nobody knew what would happen, but everyone knew something dramatic was coming. The moment the opening bell rang, the contrast in styles became obvious.
May the best man win! The third, his last fight, 38 seconds, lose 7.
Golota attempted to establish his jab and maintain distance.
Tyson quickly looking to get in on the inside.
Tyson immediately began stalking forward, moving his head and cutting off the ring.
Tyson had got Golota on the head.
Every step Tyson took seemed to force Golota backward. Every second that passed increased the pressure. Golota tried to keep Tyson at the end of his punches, but Tyson kept slipping inside. The crowd could sense it. This was not becoming the calm, technical boxing match Golota needed. It was slowly turning into a Tyson fight. Then came the moment that changed everything.
Step back quickly. Step back, my break.
Tyson exploded forward and landed a crushing right hand that sent Golota crashing to the canvas.
3, 4.
The knockdown shocked the arena. For a split second, it looked as though the fight might end immediately. Golota rose to his feet, but something had changed. Physically, he was still standing. Mentally, he no longer looked comfortable. By the time the first round ended, the momentum had completely shifted in Tyson's favor.
Very little cut.
The second round offered little relief. Tyson continued marching forward, refusing to give Golota room to breathe. The Polish heavyweight appeared increasingly uncomfortable as the pressure mounted. His jab became less effective. His movement became more cautious. His body language began telling a story that boxing fans know all too well. A fighter who no longer believes he can win. When the round finally ended, Golota returned to his corner. What happened next stunned the entire boxing world. Instead of preparing for another round, Golota told his corner that he did not want to continue.
And he said it a little more colorfully than that, Steve.
His trainers pleaded with him. They tried to motivate him. They tried to convince him that the fight could still be won. But Golota had already made his decision. Moments later, the fight was over.
Soda, beer, everything that they can.
The crowd erupted in disbelief. Many reacted with anger. Others reacted with confusion. Even members of Golota's own team appeared shocked by his decision.
Oh my goodness.
Almost instantly, his reputation suffered another devastating blow, and for years afterward, critics pointed to that moment as proof that Golota lacked the mental toughness required to become a champion. Meanwhile, Tyson celebrated one of the strangest victories of his career. Many fans viewed it as more than a win. They viewed it as revenge. Revenge for Riddick Bowe, revenge for years of controversy, and revenge against one of boxing's most infamous villains. Shortly after the fight, medical examinations revealed that Golota had suffered significant injuries, including serious head trauma. Suddenly, the narrative became more complicated. Had Golota quit because he was afraid, or had he made the smartest decision of his life? More than 2 decades later, boxing fans still debate the answer.
The second round was a better round for Golota. He got the mic a little bit.
What remains undeniable is that the showdown between Mike Tyson and Andrew Golota produced one of the most bizarre endings in heavyweight boxing history.
Mike Tyson!
It was a fight where intimidation, pressure, psychology, and raw power collided. And in the end, before Mike Tyson could completely finish the job, Andrew Golota chose to walk away himself.